The next few hours at Outpost Sigma 7 passed in a blur of activity. Captain Wright ordered all non-essential systems powered down to minimize their detection signature. The crew moved with quiet efficiency, preparing for the worst. Alex stayed, with Lyra in the medical bay. Captain Wright had assigned him to learn everything he could about their visitor and the threat following her. "How many ships are coming?" Alex asked, checking the monitoring equipment Dr. Harding had attached to Lyra. Lyra's skin shifted to a deep purple. 3 warships, if they follow standard pursuit protocol. Each carries about 200 soldiers. She touched the patch on her side. "Your medicine works well. Thank you." Alex sat beside her bed. "Tell me about your people." "You said you're connected beings?" Lyra's eyes brightened. "Yes, the Vesperi evolved on a world with extreme environmental shifts. To survive, we developed neural linking, the ability to share thoughts and memories directly with each other." She touched her temple. When danger threatened one group, they could instantly share the knowledge with others far away. "Like a hive mind?" Alex asked. "No, we remain individuals with our own thoughts and feelings. The connection is voluntary, temporary. It allows us to learn from each other without words." Dr. Harding entered, checking Lyra's vital signs on his tablet. "Her neural activity is unlike anything I've seen," he told Alex. "Certain regions of her brain show patterns that match telepathic theories some Earth scientists proposed." "Not theories," Lyra said. "Reality for us." After Harding left, Alex continued his questions. "Why do these Draxans want your people?" Lyra's skin darkened. "The Draxan Empire conquers through force, but controlling their territories requires constant effort. They believe our neural linking ability could be weaponized, used to control other species' minds or extract information directly from prisoners." She looked away. "But there is more. I am what my people call a nexus." "What does that mean?" "Most Vesperi can only link with other Vesperi. A nexus can potentially link with other sentient species." She met his eyes. "I am one of very few. The Draxans learned of our existence and attacked our outpost. I escaped to find help." On the main bridge, Maria Santos monitored the approaching ships. They had slowed upon entering the system, moving cautiously as if searching. "They haven't spotted us yet," she reported to Captain Wright. "The moon's mineral composition is masking our signature." Captain Wright nodded. "Keep it that way." "What's your assessment?" Santos pulled up the scan data. "Their weapons are significantly more advanced than ours. If they find us, we can't win a direct confrontation." A captain's face hardened. "Then we make sure they don't find us. Has Mercer learned anything useful from our guest?" "He's still interviewing her. Initial reports suggest her species has some form of telepathic ability. That's what the Draxans are after." Wright frowned. "Telepathy? Great. Just what we need, a potential security breach." She tapped her comb. "Right to Mercer. Bring our guest to my office. Now." When Alex arrived with Lyra, the captain's office felt tense. Wright sat behind her desk, while Santos stood by the door, hand resting near her weapon. "Your pursuers are in our system," Wright said without preamble. "I need to know exactly what we're dealing with." Lyra stood straight despite her injury. "The Draxan Empire spans 27 star systems. They enslave species with useful abilities and eliminate those who resist. And they want you because you can read minds?" Wright asked skeptically. "Not exactly. We cannot read thoughts without consent. The neural link requires both parties to be willing." Lyra's skin rippled with blue tones. "But the Draxans don't understand this. They believe they can force the connection, use it as a weapon." Wright leaned forward. "How do we know you're telling the truth? For all we know, you could be a criminal they're rightfully pursuing." Lyra's eyes dimmed. I cannot prove my words. In my culture, the link allows instant understanding. We have no need for the concept of lies. Alex stepped forward. Captain, her ship's technology is far beyond ours, yet she came alone in a small vessel. If her people wanted to harm us, they could have sent something more threatening. Wright considered this. Fair point. But we still have a problem. Earth Command will take weeks to respond, and we have 3 enemy warships in our system. She turned back to Lyra. What exactly do you expect us to do? Help me reach your leaders, Lyra said. My people offer in exchange our knowledge for your protection. We have technologies that could benefit humanity. Before Wright could respond, the outpost alarm blared. Captain to the bridge. Pete's voice came through the comm. They've launched scan probes throughout the system. The next day, the situation worsened. The Draxon probes had narrowed their search to the moon, where the outpost was hidden. It was only a matter of time before they were discovered in the mess hall. Alex sat with Lyra, who drew curious stares from other crew members. Your people fear me, she observed. They fear what they don't understand, Alex replied. I've been studying xenobiology for years, and even I have never encountered a species like yours. Lyra picked at the food Dr. Harding had determined was safe for her to eat. Alex, there is something I haven't told you. Something important. Her skin flushed with colors Alex hadn't seen before, deep crimson with flecks of gold. The neural link between Vesperi is beautiful. We share not just thoughts, but feelings, sensations, memories. It is the deepest form of understanding. It sounds amazing, Alex said. The link between a nexus and another species has never been fully documented. The few historical cases suggest it creates something new, a shared consciousness that retains both individuals while creating a bridge between them. Alex leaned closer. You mean it's possible for humans and Vesperi to link? Theoretically, yes, but the risk is enormous. Your brain structure is different. The process could damage both of us permanently. She reached across the table, her fingers hovering above his hand without touching. Yet it might be our only chance. If I could link with you, show you everything about my people, our technology, the Draxon threat, you could help convince your leaders to help us. Alex's heart raced. You want to form a neural link with me? Yes, Lyra said, her skin shifting to deep blues and purples. But I would never ask if we weren't desperate. The Draxons will find this outpost soon. When they do, they'll take me and kill everyone here to keep their secret. Later that night, as Alex lay in his bunk unable to sleep, his door chimed. Lyra stood outside, her skin glowing faintly in the dim corridor light. I needed to speak with you, she said quietly. The Draxon ships are moving closer. We're running out of time. Her eyes, luminous and alien, held his. Please, she begged. I need to join with you. It's the only way to save both our peoples. The air tasted metallic inside Outpost Sigma 7. Alex Mercer noticed it every morning when he woke up. After 6 months at the edge of explored space, he should have gotten used to it. He hadn't. Alex moved through the quiet corridors toward the lab. Most of the other 23 crew members were still asleep. He liked these early hours best. Just him, the stars, and whatever new specimen waited under his microscope. His official title was Senior Xenobiologist, but out here, titles meant little. Everyone did whatever needed doing. Yesterday, he had helped fix the water recycling system. The day before, he had cataloged a new type of space fungus growing on the exterior hull. Not exciting work, but it was his. The computer chimed as he entered the lab. Good morning, Dr. Mercer, it said in its flat voice. There are no new samples requiring analysis. Alex sighed. Another quiet day, then. He pulled up his research notes and began reviewing his findings on local microorganisms. The alarm blared 3 hours later, making him jump. Red lights flashed throughout the station. Unidentified object on approach vector, the computer announced. All personnel to emergency stations. Alex rushed to the command center, joining others who looked equally confused. Captain Olivia Wright stood at the main console, her face tight with concentration. "What is it?" asked Pete Bradley, the communications officer. "Unknown, Captain." Wright replied, "Moving too fast for an asteroid. Too small for a standard ship." She pointed to the screen, showing a streak of light descending toward the small moon they orbited. "And it's going to crash in about 2 minutes." Alex felt his heart speed up. In 6 months, nothing truly interesting had happened. Now this, Mercer, Captain Wright turned to him. "Grab your kit. You and Santos check it out once it lands." Full containment protocols. Maria Santos, the security chief, nodded grimly and checked her sidearm. She was always serious, never laughing at the jokes other crew members told during meals. The object hit the moon's surface with a flash visible through the viewport. It was only about 2 kilometers away from the outpost. Alex suited up quickly, his hands shaking slightly with excitement. He packed extra sample containers, scanning equipment, and the universal translator device. Most alien species they had encountered so far used some variation of standard communication frequencies. The ride to the crash site in the rover was bumpy. Santos drove fast, one hand on her weapon. "Remember," she said, "no unnecessary risks. We observe, we document, we return. If anything seems dangerous, we leave immediately." Alex nodded, but his mind was racing with possibilities. New life forms? Unknown technology? The scientific papers he could write might finally get him reassigned, somewhere more interesting than this forgotten outpost. The crash had left a dark scar across the moon's gray surface. At the end of the trail sat what was clearly an artificial craft. It was smaller than their rover, with a sleek design unlike any human ship. Its surface shimmered with an iridescent quality that changed colors as they approached. "That's not one of ours," Santos stated the obvious. "Not Arcturian design either. Nothing I recognize." Alex's scanner showed no radiation leaks, no dangerous compounds in the air around the craft. "It's safe to approach," he said. "And there's something else." On detecting life signs, they approached cautiously. The ship had a single tier along one side, revealing glimpses of the interior. As they got closer, a section of the hull suddenly shifted and opened, creating an entrance. Santos raised her weapon. "Stay behind me." The interior was dimly lit with a blue-green glow. Strange symbols covered the walls, and the design seemed to flow in organic curves rather than the hard angles of human engineering. A sound came from deeper inside, something between a whimper and a musical note. They found her in what appeared to be the control room. At first, Alex thought she was human. Her general shape was similar. But as she turned to face them, the differences became clear. Her skin had the same iridescent quality as the ship's hull, shifting between shades of blue and purple. Her eyes were larger than human eyes, almond-shaped, with no visible pupils. They glowed slightly in the dim light. She had no hair, but rather a series of small ridges along her scalp that seemed to move slightly. Like sea anemones underwater. She was injured. A dark fluid that might have been blood seeped from a wound on her side. When she saw them, she spoke. The sounds were like nothing Alex had heard before. Musical and complex. He fumbled with the universal translator, hoping it would work. After a few attempts, it began converting her speech to English. "Please," the translation came through. "Help. Danger follows." Santos kept her weapon ready. "Identify yourself. What danger?" The alien's skin shifted to a deeper blue. "I am Lyra. My people are Vesperi. The Draxan Empire hunts me. They will come here soon." She winced in pain. Please, I need medical help. Alex stepped forward, despite Santos raising a hand to stop him. I'm Alex. We can help you. Can you walk? Lyra tried to stand, but collapsed. Alex caught her before she hit the floor. Her skin felt warm and slightly textured, like fine silk. I'll carry her, he said to Santos. We need to get her back to the outpost. Santos frowned. Captain won't like this. We should check with her first. She's injured, Alex argued. We can't just leave her here. Santos sighed but nodded. Fine, but you're explaining this to Wright. Carrying Lyra back to the rover wasn't difficult. She weighed less than he expected, almost as if her bones were hollow like a bird's. As they settled her in the vehicle, her eyes fixed on Alex. Thank you, she said through the translator. Not all species would help a stranger. Captain Wright was waiting when they returned to the outpost. Her expression darkened when she saw Lyra. What part of containment protocols wasn't clear, Mercer? She demanded. She needs medical attention, Alex replied. And she says something is chasing her. Something that might be a threat to us too. Wright studied the alien for a long moment. Take her to the medical bay. Full quarantine. Dr. Harding will examine her. She turned to Santos. Double the sensor sweeps. If something's following her, I want to know about it. In the medical bay, Dr. Rick Harding looked both terrified and excited as he scanned Lyra. Alex refused to leave, despite Wright's orders. Fascinating, Harding murmured. Her cellular structure is unlike anything I've seen, and her neural patterns ... He pointed to a screen showing brain activity. It's like her brain is constantly searching for connections outside itself. Lyra's wound wasn't as serious as it had appeared. Harding applied a synthetic skin patch, explaining that human medicine seemed compatible with her physiology. When they were alone, Lyra turned to Alex. Your people are cautious. This is wise. What happened to you? Alex asked, Why are you running? Lyra's skin rippled with colors. My people evolved as connected beings. We share thoughts, memories, knowledge. The Draxans want this ability. They would enslave us, use us as living tools. She looked down. I was sent to find allies. Your species is known to us, though we have watched from afar. Before Alex could ask more questions, the outpost alarm sounded again. Multiple ships detected entering the system, the computer announced. Lyra's skin paled to an almost translucent white. They have found me faster than I thought possible. Now you are in danger too. Alex stared at Lyra, standing in his doorway. Her request to join with him hung in the air between them. You want to form a neural link with me? He asked again, still processing the idea. Has a Vesperi ever linked with a human before? Lyra's skin shifted to a pale blue. No, you would be the first. That is why the risk is so great. Alex invited her inside. His quarters were small and plain, with just a bed, desk, and a few personal items. A photo of his parents and sister sat next to a small rock collection samples from different worlds he had visited. What exactly would happen? He asked, offering her the only chair while he sat on the edge of his bed. I would generate a bioelectric field that would interface with your brain's electrical patterns, Lyra explained. Our consciousness would remain separate but connected. You would experience my memories, and I would experience yours. Would it hurt? I don't know, she admitted. The process might be overwhelming at first. Your brain would need to adapt to patterns it wasn't designed to process. Alex ran his hand through his hair. I should talk to Dr. Harding about this. And Captain Wright needs to know. Lyra's skin darkened. The captain already distrusts me. She might forbid it. And there's no time. The Draxan ships are getting closer. I can't just make this decision on my own, Alex said. This affects everyone on the outpost. The next morning, Alex requested a meeting with Captain Wright, Dr. Harding, and Chief Santos. He explained Lyra's proposal, while she sat quietly beside him. The reaction was immediate and negative. "Absolutely not," Captain Wright said firmly. "We know nothing about this neural linking process. It could kill you or worse." Dr. Harding nodded in agreement. The human brain isn't designed to interface with alien neural patterns. The risk of permanent damage is extremely high. And what about security? Santos added. This could be a way for her to access classified information. Lyra spoke up, her voice calm despite the rejection. "I understand your concerns. In your position, I would feel the same. But please consider what my people offer in exchange. Our biotechnology alone could advance your medical science by decades." Wright shook her head. "Not good enough. We need time to study this properly, with experts from Earth." "We don't have time," Alex argued. "The Draxan ships will find us soon. When they do, they'll take Lyra and destroy the outpost. Everyone here will die." Wright's expression hardened. "That's why I've already contacted Earth Command. Their orders came through an hour ago. We are to surrender the alien to the Draxan fleet to avoid conflict." Shock silenced the room. Lyra's skin turned almost white with fear. "You can't do that," Alex finally said. "You know what they'll do to her." "I don't like it any more than you do, Mercer. But I have 23 crew members to think about. I won't risk their lives." "When?" Alex asked. "We send the surrender message tomorrow. The Draxans get her, and we all live." End of discussion. As they left the meeting, Dr. Harding pulled Alex aside while Santos escorted Lyra back to the medical bay. "I reviewed the neural scans we took of Lyra," he said quietly. "There's something fascinating about her brain structure. It's almost as if it was designed to form connections with different neural patterns." "What are you saying?" Alex asked. "I'm saying her claim about being a nexus might be true. And if it is..." He glanced around to make sure no one was listening. "The potential benefits of such a connection could be extraordinary. Not just technological knowledge, but a whole new way of understanding consciousness itself." That night, Alex couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about Lyra's desperate request, and the captain's decision to surrender her. Around midnight, he made up his mind. The outpost corridors were dimly lit during the night cycle. Alex moved quietly, avoiding the few crew members on duty. He had memorized the security patrol schedule months ago out of boredom. Lyra was being kept in a secured room near the medical bay. Alex used his science officer clearance to bypass the lock. She was awake, sitting cross-legged on her bed, as if meditating. Her eyes opened when he entered. "You came," she said simply. "We don't have much time. There's a small research lab in Section 4 that's not being used. The monitoring systems there can be disconnected without triggering alarms." They moved through the shadows of the outpost, narrowly avoiding a security patrol once. The research lab was cold and quiet, filled with equipment Alex had used for analyzing specimens. "Are you sure about this?" Lyra asked as he sealed the door. "Once we begin, the process cannot be easily stopped." Alex thought about Earth Command's order, about the Draxan ships hunting for Lyra, about the incredible opportunity to understand an alien mind in a way no human ever had. "I'm sure," he said. "What do we need to do?" Lyra instructed him to lie on one of the examination tables while she connected monitoring equipment to track his vital signs. Then she pulled a second table close to his, creating a narrow gap between them. "I'll generate the field that will bridge our minds," she explained. "You may feel strange sensations, memories that aren't yours, emotions you don't recognize. Don't fight them. Let them flow through you. This will change you," Lyra warned, her skin shifting to deep blues and purples of concern. "Not just your mind, but how you experience reality." "I understand the risk," Alex replied, "but sometimes you have to take a leap of faith." Lyra lay down on the second table. She extended her hand toward him, not quite touching. "Ready?" She asked. Alex nodded. "Ready?" Lyra closed her eyes. Her skin began to glow, first softly, then with increasing brightness. The air between them seemed to shimmer with visible energy. Alex felt a tingling sensation across his skin, then a pressure inside his head, as if something was gently pressing against his mind. He closed his eyes and focused on staying calm. Pressure increased, becoming almost painful. He gripped the edges of the table, fighting the urge to pull away. Then suddenly, the pressure vanished. In its place came a flood of images, sounds, and feelings memories that weren't his own. He saw a beautiful world with 3 moons and oceans that glowed at night. He felt the joy of connecting with dozens of minds at once, sharing knowledge and experience in an instant. He understood the terror when the Draxan ships appeared in the sky, bringing destruction. These weren't just pictures in his mind. He was experiencing Lyra's life as if he had lived it himself. Got in the control room. An alarm sounded on Maria Santos's console. "Energy spike in Research Lab 4, she reported to Captain Wright. "Unusual pattern. Nothing I've seen before." Wright frowned. "Who's authorized to use that lab?" Checking. Santos's eyes widened. "Dr. Mercer's access code was used to enter the lab 30 minutes ago." "The alien?" Wright asked. Santos checked the security logs. "She's not in her quarters." The logs show her door was opened using Mercer's code. "He's trying the neural link." Wright realized. "Get a security team down there now." The door to the lab burst open. Captain Wright and 4 security officers rushed in, weapons ready. What they saw made them freeze in place. Alex and Lyra lay on the tables, surrounded by a visible field of energy that pulsed with colors. Both of their bodies glowed with the same iridescent quality as Lyra's skin. And somehow, impossibly, they could hear voices not spoken aloud, but filling the room like whispers on the edge of hearing. 2 minds, becoming something more. Captain Wright and her security team stood frozen at the entrance to the research lab. The air hummed with energy as Alex and Lyra remained connected by the glowing field between them. "Don't touch them," Dr. Harding warned as he pushed through. The group. He had been called the moment they found Alex missing. "We have no idea what disrupting the process might do." "Get those sensors working," Wright ordered. "I want to know exactly what's happening to them." Dr. Harding hurried to the monitoring equipment, checking the readings with growing amazement. "Alex's brain activity is off the charts. I've never seen patterns like this before. It's as if entire regions of his brain that were dormant have suddenly activated." Inside the neural link, Alex experienced a kaleidoscope of memories and sensations. He felt himself falling through layers of consciousness, past the surface thoughts into deeper understanding. He saw the Vesperi homeworld. Through Lyra's eyes, its crystal cities built to capture and amplify their mental energies. He felt the joy of thousands of minds joining together to share knowledge and solve problems. He understood now why the Draxans wanted this power so badly. But he also felt Lyra experiencing his memories, his childhood in rural Oregon, his fascination with the stars that led him to study xenobiology, his loneliness at the remote outpost. The process wasn't just a data transfer, as he had expected. It was something much deeper, a true merging of minds that maintained their individual identities, while creating something new. Time seemed meaningless in the link. Alex had no idea how long they had been connected when he began to notice changes in his own awareness. His thoughts moved faster. Connections formed between ideas that he had never considered related before. And most strangely, he could feel the technology around him, the computers, the sensors, the outpost systems, as if they were extensions of his own body. Gradually, the intense sensations began to fade. The glowing field between them pulsed slower, dimmer. Alex felt himself returning to his own body. but changed in ways he couldn't yet understand. When he opened his eyes, the lab was filled with people. Captain Wright stood at the foot of his table, her face a mix of anger and concern. Dr. Harding hovered nearby, monitoring equipment clutched in his hands. 4 security officers stood with weapons drawn but lowered, uncertainty clear in their posture. "Alex?" Dr. Harding asked cautiously. "Can you hear me?" Alex tried to speak, but his voice felt strange, as if he had forgotten how to use it. After a moment, he managed to say, "Yes, I'm here." He turned his head to see Lyra on the table beside him. Her eyes were open, watching him. Her skin glowed with a soft blue light. "The connection was successful," she said, her voice somehow both aloud and inside his mind at the same time that Captain Wright stepped forward. "Both of you are under arrest for violating direct orders. Dr. Mercer, you're relieved of duty pending." "Captain," Alex interrupted. He sat up slowly, noticing how every movement felt different, more deliberate. "The Draxon fleet has changed course. They'll be in orbit around this moon in less than 6 hours. Wright frowned. "How could you possibly know that?" "Because I can feel them," Alex said simply. He gestured toward the nearest computer terminal, and to everyone's shock, the screen activated without him touching it. Data flowed across it, showing the positions of the Draxon ships. "What the hell?" Santos whispered. Dr. Harding moved closer, scanning Alex with a medical device. "His neural patterns have completely reconfigured. And there's something else. His brain is emitting a low-level bioelectric field similar to Lyra's." "The joining wasn't just about sharing information," Lyra explained, also sitting up. "It created something new. Alex now has access to some Vesperi abilities, including our biotechnology interface." Alex turned to the stunned crew members. "I can help us survive this. The Vesperi developed defenses against Draxon weapons. I know how to implement them using our systems." Captain Wright's face hardened. "You deliberately disobeyed orders. You risked this entire outpost on an alien experiment that's clearly changed you in ways we don't understand." "Yes," Alex admitted, "and I'd do it again. What I've learned, what I've experienced, it's worth the risk." He looked at Lyra. "The Vesperi aren't just potential allies. Their way of connecting, of sharing knowledge, it could transform humanity's future." Wright glanced at the screen showing the approaching Draxon ships. "That's assuming we have a future. We're still outgunned and outnumbered." "Not necessarily," Alex said. He closed his eyes briefly, accessing the new knowledge in his mind. "The Vesperi developed countermeasures against Draxon technology. With some modifications, we can adapt our systems to use them." Over the next few hours, the outpost buzzed with activity. Despite her reservations, Captain Wright allowed Alex to implement his plan. She had few alternatives. Alex worked with an efficiency that amazed the engineering team. His fingers flew over control panels, sometimes controlling systems without physically touching them. Occasionally he would pause, eyes unfocused, as if consulting internal knowledge. It's like he instantly became an expert in technologies we've never even seen before, Pete Bradley commented as he helped Alex modify the communications array. "Not an expert," Alex corrected. "I'm just translating what I learned from Lyra's memories." The Vesperi spent decades developing ways to shield themselves from Draxon detection. By the time the Draxon ships entered orbit, the outpost had been transformed. Its power systems now operated on new frequencies that the Draxon scanners couldn't detect. The shields had been reconfigured to absorb rather than reflect sensor sweeps. The crew gathered in the command center, watching the main screen as 3 massive warships moved into position above them. "Receiving transmission," Pete announced. "They're demanding we surrender any Vesperi refugees immediately." Captain Wright looked at Alex and Lyra, who stood side by side near the back of the room. "Do we respond?" Alex shook his head. Not yet. Let them think the moon is uninhabited. Our modifications should keep us hidden unless they land ground forces. The tense hours crawled by. The Draxan ships launched probes that passed directly over the outpost several times, but the new shielding held. Their sensors detected nothing. Late. That night, as most of the crew tried to rest, Alex sat with Lyra in the observation dome, watching the Draxan ships through the reinforced glass ceiling. "You've changed," Lyra said softly. "More than I expected." Alex looked at his hands, noticing the faint iridescent quality that now seemed to shimmer beneath his skin in certain lights. "I feel different. I can sense things I never could before. The ship's systems, the flow of energy, even the thoughts of others, sometimes not clearly, but like whispers at the edge of hearing." "The joining created something new," Lyra said. "Neither fully Vesperi nor fully human, but a bridge between our species." "Do you regret it?" Alex asked. Lyra's skin glowed with warm colors. "No, though I fear what happens next." "What do you mean?" "The Draxans will eventually give up searching this moon, but they won't stop hunting my people. And now, they would hunt you too, if they knew what you had become." Alex was silent for a moment. "Then we need to take the fight to them. Show them that the cost of pursuing your people is too high." "How?" "We're one small outpost against an empire." Alex smiled. "The joining gave me more than just knowledge, Lyra. It gave me an idea." 3 days passed with the Draxan ships still in orbit. The outpost crew remained hidden, but they couldn't stay that way forever. Supplies would eventually run low, and Earth Command would send someone to investigate when the outpost missed. Its scheduled communications. Alex spent those days working with Lyra to refine his new abilities. Each hour, he discovered more changes the neural joining had created. He could interface with the outpost systems directly through thought. His mind processed information faster. And sometimes, when he concentrated hard, he could sense the emotions of people nearby, not their thoughts, but their feelings, like colors in the air around them. Captain Wright watched these developments with growing concern. "We need to discuss what happens next," she said during a private meeting with Alex, Lyra, and Dr. Harding. "Even if the Draxans leave, Earth Command expects us to hand over Lyra." "That's not going to happen," Alex said firmly. Wright sighed. "I figured you'd say that. So, what's your plan?" "Because right now, we're stuck." Alex leaned forward. "What if we could talk to the Draxans? Not surrender, not fight, just talk." "They don't seem like the talking type," Wright replied. "Every species can communicate," Lyra said. "The Draxans simply haven't had reason to listen before." Alex explained his idea. "The neural joining gave me access to Vesperi knowledge, but it also showed me something important about the Draxans. They've never experienced a mental connection. They conquer because they fear what they don't understand. So?" Santos asked, "So what if we could show them? Just a glimpse of what the connection feels like? Not to control them, but to help them understand." Dr. Harding looked skeptical. "You want to form a neural link with a Draxan? The same people hunting you?" "Not a full link," Alex clarified. "Just a brief connection enough to show them another way." The debate lasted hours. Many crew members thought the plan was too risky. Others saw no alternative. In the end, Captain Wright made the decision. "We can't hide forever, and I won't surrender anyone to slavery," she said. "We try Alex's way." The next day, they sent a message to the Draxan fleet. They offered to share valuable information about the Vesperi in exchange for safe passage. After a tense hour, the Draxans responded, agreeing to send a shuttle with their commander. "They're coming to capture us, not talk," Santos warned as they prepared the landing bay. "Probably," Alex agreed. "But they're curious enough to come in person rather than just bomb us from orbit. That's all we need a chance." The Draxan shuttle. landed with a heavy thud. 6 soldiers emerged first, carrying weapons unlike anything the humans had seen before. They formed a perimeter around the shuttle as their commander descended. General Krell was tall and powerfully built, with gray-green skin and 4 small eyes set in a face dominated by a rigid bone structure. He wore ornate armor that hummed faintly with energy. "Where is the Vesperi female?" he demanded without greeting. His voice was translated through a device on his armor. Captain Wright stepped forward. "She's here, safely in our custody. But before any exchanges happen, we have information that might interest you." Krell's upper eyes narrowed. "Speak quickly." "You seek the Vesperi for their neural linking ability," Wright said. "But you don't understand how it actually works. We do. Impossible. Your species has no such technology." Alex moved forward slowly, hands raised to show he was unarmed. "Not technology. Experience. I've shared a neural link with a Vesperi. I know what you're seeking, and why it won't work the way you think." Krell's attention fixed on Alex. "You claim to have linked minds. With a Vesperi? You lie. I can prove it," Alex said. He closed his eyes briefly, concentrating. The nearest computer terminal activated, displaying Draxan language symbols. Krell's 4 eyes widened slightly. "That proves nothing. Parlor tricks." "Then let me show you directly," Alex suggested. "A brief connection, not to control, just to understand. You'll be the first Draxan to experience what you've been hunting." Krell laughed, a harsh sound. "You think I would allow a mental attack? My soldiers would kill everyone here if I gave the order." "Not an attack," Lyra said, stepping forward despite Santos trying to hold her back. "An offering. Knowledge freely given cannot be used to harm." What happened next surprised everyone. Krell studied Lyra, then Alex, and made a decision. "My scientists have failed to unlock the Vesperi secret through force. Perhaps there is value in your demonstration." He turned to his soldiers. "Stand ready. If I show any sign of distress, kill them all." Alex, Lyra, and Krell moved to the center of the landing bay. The human crew and Draxan soldiers watched nervously from opposite sides. "This will feel strange," Alex warned. "Don't fight it." He and Lyra stood on either side of Krell. They raised their hands, not quite touching the Draxan commander. Alex closed his eyes, focusing on generating the bioelectric field he had learned to control. Lyra did the same, her skin glowing with increasing brightness. The air between the 3 of them shimmered. Krell tensed, his hand moving toward his weapon, but then froze as the connection formed. It lasted only seconds, a brief flash of shared consciousness. Alex carefully controlled what flowed through the link. The beauty of the Vesperi collective mind, the innovation of human creativity, and the potential of cooperation rather than conquest. When it ended, Krell staggered backward. His soldiers raised their weapons, but he held up a hand to stop them. "Impossible," he whispered. For the first time, his voice held something other than contempt or anger. It held wonder. "That's just a fragment of what the Vesperi can share," Alex said. "Not as a weapon, but as an exchange between equals." Krell was silent for a long moment. The entire bay held its breath. "In all our conquests," he finally said, "we sought to take what could only be freely given." He looked at Lyra. "Your people have been running. We assumed it was weakness." "It was wisdom," she replied. "Force cannot create understanding." 3 hours later, the Draxan ships prepared to leave orbit. In the command center, Captain Wright watched in disbelief as they broke formation and moved away. "I still can't believe that worked," she said to Alex and Lyra. "It's just the beginning." Alex replied, "Krell will face opposition when he returns. Many Draxans won't understand what he experienced, but it's a start a crack in their certainty." 1 month later, a transport ship from Earth arrived at the outpost. Among its passengers were scientists, diplomats, and military officials, all eager to meet the human who had shared consciousness with an alien. Earth Command had been skeptical of the reports until they received a message from the Draxan Empire itself, proposing diplomatic relations for the first time in their history. Alex and Lyra stood together in the observation dome, watching the transport dock. Their future was uncertain. Many on Earth would fear what Alex had become, neither fully human nor Vesperi, but something new. "Are you ready?" Lyra asked, her skin glowing with warm colors that reflected her concern. Alex nodded. "What we started here will change everything, not just for your people or mine, but for all species." He looked down at his hands, which now permanently held a faint iridescence, a physical sign of his transformation. Some will fear it, others will want to control it. But the ones who understand, they'll help us build something better. As the first officials boarded the outpost, Alex felt their curiosity and apprehension radiating like heat. He and Lyra would need to proceed carefully, showing rather than telling, offering glimpses of connection rather than forcing understanding. "When you begged me to join with you," Alex said quietly to Lyra, "I never expected it would change the galaxy." Lyra smiled. "That's the beauty of connection. It never remains contained. One bridge leads to another, and another, until all paths connect." Together, they walked forward to meet humanity's representatives, ready to show them a new way of seeing the universe, not as separate species competing for dominance, but as minds capable of understanding each other in ways no one had expected.